Caligula, the mad emperor of Rome. In the annals of Roman history, few figures have evoked as much fear and fascination as Caligula, the infamous emperor whose reign was marked by cruelty, extravagance, and sheer madness. Born on August 31st, 12 AD, as Gaius Julius Caesar Germanicus, Caligula's life began under the shadow of a prestigious lineage. He was the third son of Germanicus and Agrippina the Elder, linking him to the revered Julio-Claudian dynasty. However, the path that lay ahead for Caligula would lead him from the heights of power to a legacy of infamy. Caligula's childhood was steeped in tragedy and loss. His father, Germanicus, was a celebrated general, often hailed as one of the greatest military minds of his time. From a young age, Caligula accompanied his father on military campaigns, earning the nickname Caligula, meaning little boots, from the soldiers who adored him. However, this idyllic image was shattered in 19 AD when Germanicus embarked on a critical mission to Egypt, a province vital to Rome's grain supply. His arrival there, against the direct orders of Emperor Tiberius, sparked tensions that would ultimately lead to his mysterious death. The sudden and suspicious death of Germanicus sent shockwaves through Rome. Many speculated that he had been poisoned by Piso, the governor of Syria, under orders from Tiberius himself. This tragedy deeply affected young Caligula and set the stage for his tumultuous relationship with the imperial throne. After Germanicus's death, Agrippina returned to Rome with her children, determined to seek justice for her husband. Her journey became a national mourning event, with citizens and magistrates paying their respects as she carried her husband's ashes to Rome. The Senate and the people of Rome grieved the loss of a beloved leader, while suspicion towards Tiberius grew. Agrippina's defiance of Tiberius's rule only fueled the emperor's paranoia. Tensions between Agrippina and Tiberius escalated as she publicly accused the emperor and his advisor, Sejanus, of orchestrating Germanicus's murder. Sejanus, who had risen to power as the head of the Praetorian Guard, was a master manipulator who sought to eliminate any threat to his influence. He launched a smear campaign against Agrippina and her sons, turning the imperial court against them. In 23 AD, Drusus, Tiberius's son, died under suspicious circumstances, further complicating the power dynamics within the empire. As Sejanus tightened his grip on power, Agrippina's sons, especially Nero, gained popularity in the Senate. Fearing their growing influence, Sejanus orchestrated a campaign of political trials, leading to the exile of Agrippina and the death of her son Nero. Agrippina herself died under mysterious circumstances, likely from starvation and exile, in 33 AD. During this period of turmoil, Caligula was raised under the watchful eye of his grandmother, Antonia Minor. In 31 AD, he was sent to the island of Capri, where he lived under the supervision of Tiberius. While on Capri, Caligula developed his skills as an orator and actor, masking his deep-seated resentment for the man who had brought so much suffering to his family. In 31 AD, Sejanus, once the most powerful man in Rome, was accused of conspiracy against Tiberius and executed. Caligula's fortunes began to change as he was appointed quaestor in 33 AD, a position that prepared him for the political challenges ahead. When Tiberius died on March 16, 37 AD, rumors swirled that Caligula had smothered the emperor with a pillow. On the same day, the Praetorian Guard proclaimed Caligula emperor, and he was granted full imperial powers upon his arrival in Rome on March 28. The early months of Caligula's reign were marked by relative calm and popularity, largely due to his connection with his late father Germanicus. To solidify his rule, Caligula fulfilled the provisions of Tiberius's will, doubling the payment to the Praetorian Guard and distributing bonuses to the troops and citizens of Rome. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly stable reign, dark clouds were gathering. In 37 AD, Caligula fell gravely ill, teetering on the brink of death. Upon his recovery, his behavior became increasingly erratic. He began to purge those he perceived as threats, including his co-heir, Gemellus, who was forced to commit suicide under accusations of treason. Even his former ally Macro, the Praetorian prefect, was not spared, as Caligula ordered his execution. Subscribe and like the video so we can make more videos. Thank you. Caligula's reign quickly descended into a nightmare of extravagance and and terror. His lavish spending on grandiose projects, such as a 3-mile-long floating bridge across the Bay of Baiae, demonstrated his insatiable desire for glory, regardless of practicality. He famously adorned his horse, Incitatus, with jewels, and even considered appointing it as a consul of Rome. Caligula's disdain for the Senate was palpable, as he ridiculed its members and made unilateral decisions without consulting them. His infamous quote, "Let them hate me so long as they fear me," encapsulated his tyrannical approach to power. As Caligula's behavior grew more erratic, his relationship with the Senate deteriorated further. He introduced a monetary reform, minting coins with his own image and declaring himself a god. This audacious move alienated the Senate and spurred multiple conspiracies against him. Caligula's military campaigns, while occasionally successful, often lacked clear strategic objectives. His bizarre command to collect seashells during a planned invasion of Britain exemplified the irrationality that had come to define his reign. Caligula's obsession with being worshipped as a deity also brought him into conflict with the Jewish population. When the Jews refused to recognize him as a god, he ordered a colossal statue of himself to be erected in the Temple of Jerusalem. The statue was en route to Jerusalem when news of Caligula's death reached the city, halting its installation and averting a potential catastrophe. Caligula's reign came to a violent end on January 24th, 41st AD, when a group of Praetorian guards, led by Cassius Chaerea, decided to put an end to the emperor's tyranny. During a festival at the imperial palace, they attacked Caligula, stabbing him repeatedly. The assassination was not just an act of vengeance, it was a response to the emperor's frequent insults, particularly against Chaerea. The aftermath of Caligula's death saw his wife, Caesonia, and their daughter also brutally murdered as the conspirators sought to eradicate any trace of his lineage. Rome was thrown into a brief period of chaos following Caligula's assassination. The Senate attempted to restore the Republic, but the Praetorian Guard, recognizing their own power, quickly proclaimed Caligula's uncle, Claudius, as the new emperor. Claudius, initially hesitant, accepted the throne and, ironically, brought a period of relative stability to the Roman Empire after the storm that had been his nephew's reign. Caligula's legacy, however, remained shrouded in horror and mystery. His madness and tyranny became legendary, with ancient writers like Suetonius and Tacitus portraying him as the worst of tyrants, a man whose absolute power utterly corrupted him. While these accounts were often exaggerated, they served as stark warnings about the dangers of granting unlimited power to a single individual. Despite his brief time on the throne, Caligula left an indelible mark on Roman history. His reign exposed the vulnerabilities of the imperial system and foreshadowed the challenges that Rome would face in the coming decades. While many prefer to remember him as a mad tyrant, there are those who see in his story a reflection on the dangers of concentrated power and the fragility of the human psyche when subjected to absolute rule. In the end, Caligula's rise and fall serve as a lasting reminder that, in the vast tapestry of history, even the most powerful can be brought low, and that madness, when coupled with power, can turn heroes into monsters. Join us and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the video and be a Praetorian. Thank you, my friend.